Hey everybody, Evil Mr. Joker back with part 2 of our item sorting tutorial. Part 1 we already covered this guy here and broke him down and talked about stackable item sorters. However, this guy does have one kind of drawback to it. Any non-stackable items like swords, pickaxes, buckets of lava will just kind of go around and around till they get to the bottom, and then they just get put into an open chest on the bottom row. So if we want to get past that and have a little more control over what items are going where, we're going to need some help. Again, from another Zip Crowd guy, Panda4994, creator of these first three. And this guy here is going to be a stackable versus non-stackable item output. So we can go ahead and put some stackable and non-stackable items, and we'll switch these out and pull the gold off so it sucks those in, and you'll be able to see as this guy is blinking off and on here what's happening. You can see it'll blink down here and sometimes it doesn't. What it's doing is it's comparing the signal strength. As we discussed yesterday, a non-stackable item like a bucket of lava will output a signal strength comparable to that of an entire stack of 64 stackable items, whereas a stackable item one by one will put out a very low signal strength, and in doing so we can separate those using this guy. So go ahead, pause the screen, do whatever you need to do, and so this will be our first sorter in the series. Got our input here, again goes in, comparator checks, signal either goes up to the top or down to the bottom, thereby letting the stackable items go down here into the bottom and the non-stackable ones on the top. So our stackable item output we can in turn pump back into that machine up there, into the stackable item sorters, to get sorted out for each individual type. Our non-stackable items though we can pump over further, and our next step will be putting it through this guy, which will be our Enchanting Item Sorter. And again, same basic premise. And we'll throw some enchanting items in there. And as you can see, all of our potions are down here, enchanting items, and all non-enchanting items are over in this other guy, which is great because now we can pump our potions off and store them in one, and the rest of our non-stackable items can get sorted even further with the help of this guy. This is a Flint and Steel sorter. And so by now we'll have all of our buckets and stuff sorted, and this guy will pull out just the flint and steel, whereas our lava, water, and anything else will go into that one. The flint and steel will go in that one. There is a big difference between these guys here. I'll go ahead and let you get this side. We got our input coming off of our stackable item into our enchanting sorter here. This left side is a clock that runs off of the other one, and basically it only allows a controllable rate to go into the sorter, so it doesn't overload us by running too fast. And so what happens here is, again, same thing. We got a comparator. It's checking the item that's in this dropper, not a dispenser. and signal strength is compared, and it's also shot over to this side, which can activate and deactivate this hopper. And what happens is the dropper simply fires it out. If it's able to go into the enchanting brew stand, then it'll do so, and then it'll be sucked down into this output. If it's not able to go into this one in it's being detected, then it'll be able to drop down into this one. So once we have our potions after our stackables, the rest gets brought over into our flint and steel. And this isn't a dropper, this is a dispenser. And this guy will attempt to fire it if it, and we do need the sign there so it doesn't waste any charges or it doesn't dispense lava and water out. But basically it attempts to use the item, which in this case flint and steel is the only thing that will be used. And I have noticed it does sometimes take a little wear and tear in your flint and steel, but small price to pay in comparison with what we're getting out of. So this big mess here are all the ones that I've tried and don't work. So we got an enchanting table, armor stand, jute box. Jute box and armor stand doesn't have an internal storage or a GUI, a graphic user interface, whereas the enchanting table does have a GUI. However, it doesn't have like a special slot for enchanting only items, whereas the brew stand does. So that's why that works and these guys won't. The next one we have here is a bit of a biggie, and this one was made by, I'm going to try and pronounce this right, Matoseb. Go sub them on YouTube. I mean, this is a mad crazy build. And so after the potion, the flint and steel sorter, we can pump these into this input. And this guy is absolutely crazy, because what he will do is dispense these out, and using bud switches, block update detector, it will check to see if it's lava, water, or something else. So all the something else's get put off into this output. Lava gets put out into this one, and water gets put out into this one, and it's just those two being separated here. If you didn't have the flint and steel sorter hooked up before this, then normally the flint and steel would go into this others output, but every once in a while it'll detect it like it was lava. So that's why we have the flint and steel sorter put before this guy. So I'll go ahead and let you get angles from all sides and vantage points. I got, this is really unneeded here. I put that on there just to kind of make sure the items stayed. But for the most part they do. Also make sure to notice this tripwire hook here. It's not actually hooked up to any string. I don't know its specific purpose. I'm only assuming that it needs to be there. Another thing is this switch here needs to be there, and it needs to be on at all times. This is part of the bud detector. It's got signal strength going and going through to a detectable level, which is compared right here with this logic mess. Comparators can take inputs from the side, and it can kind of do some basic math operations comparing the signal strength and only allowing signal strength out after it's greater than a certain point. I don't know those off the top of my head right now, so you'll have to look them up online. I'm just trying to give you as much view as I can of this guy so you can build them on your own. Go back through, pause the video, flip it, switch it, turn it, whatever you need. Oh, another big thing is the layout of these hoppers. We got this small chest here, which is being fed. So the way these hoppers work is once it dispenses the water or the lava and it determines whether it's one or the other, it sucks it back in, and then it will either kick it all the way through and down to this other's output, or it'll suck it back into that dispenser, down through this hopper into this hopper, and then using the logic created by the bud detections, whether it was water or lava, then it'll either go into the first chest or into the second chest. So now what I've done is I've taken the time to combine all of those into this pretty beast here. And so we have here an item elevator, except I've done mine a little differently. I got dual inputs, so either side my torch seems to have burnt out. There we go. So as you can see, diamonds and whatnot, up, up, and away. And I do see I was making some changes. There we go. So again, first thing they're going into is stackable versus non-stackable. If it is stackable, it'll come all the way out to here. If it's non-stackable, then it goes down through the sequence. Once it kicks it out here into the stackable items, then you can put that into your stackable item sorters for further sorting. So that's that guy. And then from there, they kick over and go into the brew stand. And if it's brewable or able to be put into any of our brew stand slots, then it will go into there, pull it out from the bottom, kick it out down to here. Might as well go ahead and it's the first time I've never seen these clocks automatically start. Oh, where's my potions? We need some of them. And the nice thing, these glass bottles, they can go into the brew stand, but they're a stackable item. So if we stick them through, they're actually going to get pulled out as a stackable item, and then those can get sorted normally. And if, oh, they're already arriving. So there's our potions. What's the next one? Flint and steel. Buckets, stackable, only to 16, but they're still stackable. Milk isn't, and that will get kicked all the way down to the lava and water sorter, and since it's neither, it should actually pop out in the others, I believe. We'll throw another flint and steel. Ender pearls, it's only 16, but again, it is stackable. The bed, not stackable. That should go all the way out to the others on the end of the lava and water sorter. Same thing with them soups. Let me get some lava and water. I think I left mine back in the other one. Clickety, clickety, click, clack. Like I was explaining about the hoppers, the way it always pulls out of the left one, same thing here, top left, down, down to the right. So we should have quite a bit going on now. Did we lose some emeralds, it looks like? Oh, diamonds. Thieving machine done stole my diamonds. Oh, they got caught up. Wow, that's the first time I've ever seen anything get caught up on there. They're all there, though. This is a rather short. Usually I go back a little further. Gives the items a little more time to align themselves. But we will go ahead and stick our diamonds back in here. And now we're feeding items from both sides. Running beautifully. And I mean, you'll get a little lag every once in a while where the item will pop up here and it looks like it's stalling out. But it's getting sucked into the hopper and getting processed just like it should. So we're getting plenty of our items. Sign, armor stand, like I said, anything that's stackable. We're doing quite alright. There's our items moving through. I didn't put enough potions in there. We should throw a few more at least, right? Got one. Well, that was weird. Quit giving it back to me. course, when I start recording, it wants to start having issues. It's going proper. Flint and steel. Oh, again, like I said, I was doing some changes the other day. What happened here is that hopper was facing down with no down to go. So, now we're good. That was my bad. Just to prevent any others, we'll go ahead and reprocess these guys just to make sure. Do we have any items left in here? No. Remember, we put in them second batches of diamonds. 64 there, 64 there, 64. Still waiting for some iron ingots. Is that in this guy? Potion made it in. There's our iron ingots, 54. There's 64. I think our potions ended up going in the wrong spot just because I was double feeding so many items at once. And I mean, it can only sort so quick, and if you get a hopper that's completely full items and it's click and send a signal every once in a while, you'll get one that hops on the signal of the one in front of it, piggybacks. But oh yeah, they made it all through. And our flint and steel. And there's our water only. There's our lava only. There's our bed, milk, and 2 soup bowls. Beautiful. Alright, I think that's going to be about it. I'll be putting this together as a world download and putting schematics up for this all together. These guys have the schematics for those available. If you wanted to create a machine building like the Zit Crowd did here with their item elevator, all you need to do is right at this line, chop it. This goes down to the bottom. This part goes up to the top. Items nicely feed up and go through this sort before going through the stackable regular sorters. So that should do it. If you got any questions, comments, complaints, feel free to post a comment. I will try and address it best I can. Thanks for watching. It's been another Evil Mr. Joker production. Peace.